let me take over now. I'm right here. I'm gonna get a message today. I hope everybody's doing good. And title for today is full focus on the fact. And, we got a couple of questions. Start off today. We're just gonna go through all the questions as we go along with the topic today. And the questions are, how does focus play a part in the message? Number one. And number two is, what were the children of Israel focusing on? And number three is, what was the promised land? Um, how long did it take for the next generation to make it to the promised land? Why did it take a long time for them to go to the promised land? And how can we apply this message today? And two more is, what caused Moses to not stay focused? And the last one is, what is a sound mind? Okay, so let me set the scene for you. At this point in time, we'll pick up. Pharaoh, Moses had already came and let his people go. Got his people out of captivity, out of slavery, under Pharaoh's rule. And by this time, he raised the Red Sea, and God let them walk on dry land. And now we're at Mount Nebo, right? So we kind of passed all the good stuff and got to where we are now, and that's before God promised them the promised land. And and Moses was reluctant to even come and tell them that such a thing was possible, because these are people that are in captivity. So at this time, it's kind of crazy to tell people that are going through something like that, yeah, not only am I going to set you free, but I'm going to give you something even better than just being free. I'm going to give you a land that's flowing milk and honey. And but Moses did. He went and he told the people, his people, that they will be set free, and it did, and God delivered. And I'll tell you why that's important later on. But at this point in Mount Nebo, Moses, he decides to send 12 spies out. Okay, out of the 12, two of his spies came back with a good report. And they confirmed that the land was flowing with milk and honey. And the other 10, they said that you know there were giants there, and basically saying, giving a bad report, saying that this is not a good idea. So the reason why this is important, because it wasn't as if Moses came up with the idea. It was the fact that God told him that, you know, I have a land for you. I am God, you know. And right. So the first question is, what is the promised land? Well, the promised land is the land that God promised. Kind of self-explanatory, but it's a land that was flowing with milk and honey. Is just metaphorically is something that represents, yeah, we made it. Like, we made it out of captivity. And and I said I was gonna come back to the fact of why it was important that to bring up that he brought them through. He brought them through the Red Sea, the Passover, a lot of these miracles. Just the fact that that God brought them out of captivity. The reason why that's important is because, which is actually the next question, is how long did it take the next generation to go to the promised land? But because the question next 40 years, and the reason why is because of fear. And so if you think about it, like I guess on the scale, it's kind of just like, yeah, the giants in the promised land. I don't know if I said it before, but the reason why there was the bad report was there are giants on the land, and it's not a good idea to go. And so if you think about it, if God can raise a seed, and actually like, if you imagine, I don't know if you ever been to an ocean before, but if you imagine the ocean just having a split in it to the fact that you can walk on dry land, right? Like that's amazing. That's like a miracle. So that compared to fighting giants is kind of small, right? Especially if you saw that. Imagine just seeing something so crazy like that. If you were just at a beach one day and you know, God told told you that He was going to open the sea out of nowhere, and He did it. I would think, man, like, okay, I know without a shadow of a doubt there is a guy and He cares for me. But these people, they it's Moses too, like, being a great leader that God specifically spoke to. He still fell into fear, and that just stuck out to me. Like, even though he had all these great things that they saw, he still let giants, in their land that God told him was there. They still let that get to them. And so let's go to the next question. It is uh, why did it take them a long time? Why did it take 40 years for them to get to the promised land? And basically because they listen to man. They listen to man and not God. It was that fear of, oh man, there giants over there. Wow, no, I'm not. When really honest, like, it's not rational to think that. If you really think about just the logic behind, like I said, like somebody opening seas, somebody putting plagues on like a great nation that Egypt was. God was able to take them out of captivity and bring them somewhere else, right? And not only that, but also, like I said, give them to better than what they had, which is the promised land. So they let fear and they let the report of man decide that, you know what, yeah, I don't know what we was thinking. That was crazy. We're gonna just stay here. So on the spot, how so yeah, what were they focused on? And that's the report of the spies. They were focused more on what the spies said other than what God said. And kind of self-explanatory, but what caused Moses not to stay focused in that spirit? And that's important. So yeah, let's stay with the fear right quick as we wrap it up. But how can we apply this message today? And one of the ways is not letting fear come upon you. It's a lot of stuff like this throughout the day where fear can creep up on you, and it can cause you to, you know, just not trust God. In a lot of ways. Um, there's people speaking against you, like if you have a call or you have a gift and that you're special at it, but it may not be obvious to everybody else. You know, people can speak negative and be like, no, don't do that. That's no, you should go this way. This is a safe way, right? But like I said, even with Moses, like he's like, who shall we fear? No giants, no debt, no poverty, nothing. It's nothing to fear because God holds the key to the kingdom. He holds the keys to everything on earth. Whether it's death, he holds the key to that, to just financial freedom, to freedom. Period. He holds the key. So what really should we fear at the end of the day? So let's go back to fear. Well, actually, let's yeah, fear. Let me see if I have the scripture right here. Second Timothy 1 through 7 is for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind, right? And I looked up sound mind by law. The definition is to be sane or rational, right? And so I'm thinking like okay, a contract. If somebody does a contract, I think it's like or if it's a actual will or something like that. I think they go along the lines of where you say you say your name, you say sound mind, blase blase. You say whatever whatever the contract or whatever the will is or whatever that the statement is. You're saying that you're saying of a sound mind, basically like you're you're not crazy. For lack of a better word, I probably shouldn't use that word, but you're sane, right? So spiritually, we can look at that and say rational, as in just like I said before, like you know, they had no reason not to doubt, right? And just looking at the verse, it's telling you that God has not given us a spirit of fear, right? And matter of fact, I forgot to put in, but power and of love and a sound mind. Can't forget that part. So it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind." Right. So just thinking on the fear part, fear that means fear is man-made. It's not of God, right? If it was of God, then it would say it wouldn't say, "But God has not given us a spirit of fear." So it's just like you know, that's like, and that's a play on words of the word of rational, right? Just going back to the definition, it's a sound mind meaning sane or rational, right? So fleshly it would be like, in the world rather it's just being rational, thinking rational, right? Like okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Like that's what's considered sane. But in the spiritually, it's like um just the fact of nothing, like God is sovereign over all, and spiritually having that like rational spiritual mind, knowing that God controls everything, and that if he can own the keys of death, right? If death is beneath God, then what really can we fear? You know what I'm saying? And if you think about how he rose Lazarus from the dead, rose himself from the dead, right? He nothing is more powerful than him. So it's like fear is man-made. Fear is not of God. So therefore, any fear in any type, way, shape, or form is not of God and it's not spiritually right. So you have to be in the mindset of you know not living in fear, but staying focused, right? Staying focused on the fact that whatever God promises, we can have. And anything else other than that is a distraction. Fear is a distraction, right? But if we stay focused on the fact that with our sound mind that God is God and God alone is nothing that we can't accomplish. It's no giant that's gonna stand in between us and the promised land or the promises of God. And it's another verse, and that's Proverbs 3:5-6. And trust the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. And yeah, I wanted to just read that verse and just look at the part of lean not to your own understanding. That's that physical. rational mind of like, man, those are giants over there, like, and I'm meaning that metaphorically, like the giant can be anything, like, it can be being overcome with sickness, like, oh man, that doesn't make sense for me to go over there. I can get sick, right? But you're protected, and you're in God's care. You can have that peace and knowing, and if you can just stay focused on God and stay focused on who He is and His sovereignty, no type of fear should come upon you. So that was a lesson for today, and I'm gonna pray us out. Father God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this message, Father God. Thank you for the hearers and also the doers, Father God. Thank you for helping this word to stick with us and apply it to our lives, Father God. Even if it's just one person, Father God, thank you. We love you. Thank you for that. And we thank you for our sound mind and giving us spiritual mind for us to only see things the way you see them, Father God, and which is the truth, Father God. Because you are the truth, the way, and life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, take over, take over.